This is Bill Lester, 1906 to 1948. Alright, where are we going? Where are we going? This is a little bit confusing, I'll be honest. You know which way you going, which way have you been, which way you going, and how are you planning to get there? Hey, that one, nothing. That one just says father and mother, no stone. Oh my God, it is part of a coffin. That tree has ripped a coffin right out of the ground. Oh my God. There's a coffin in there, guys. Look at that. There's a coffin snarled up in this big root. That is not good. You can just about bet there's a body in there somewhere. It's awful, ain't it? Trees flipped over, and you can see the bottom of the coffin right here. Here's the sides of it, and the top up in here. The coffin itself is inside that big root ball right through here. Presumably, well, I think you guys get the point. There's a body inside that root ball somewhere. Somebody is inside there right now. Wow. Let's see if we can see any stone that maybe goes to that one. David P. Taylor, 1902 to 1940, and Catherine Mott, 1887 to 1951. Okay, just wanted to get a couple pictures of that. There's plenty of people out there to tell George Washington's story and all the famous people's story, but who tells your story? Who tells my story? Hillbilly Files is about it, isn't it? Anyway, here's one of the ones that I wanted to show you. Like I said, this abandoned cemetery, a lot of these folks, the wealthier ones, have moved their loved ones to other graves. But I just wanted to show you this one real quick, since we're right here. And if you look, you can see part of the coffin rusted. I'm not sure what the deal is with that one. Because, I mean, if the body was removed, you would think the top would be. Unless they did put this back later, after the fact, which is what I'm assuming, after the bodies were removed. Of this one, you can see the stand where the coffin goes on. No, that is the coffin, isn't it? That is the actual coffin right there. Hello, you're just everywhere, ain't you? You are just everywhere, little girl. But now a lot of these down here, some of these have been cleared off. You can actually get to them and see them. Some, not so much. I'm still completely covered. And you can see there's giant trees down all over the place. But where we're headed is for the main back, the upper end. A giant upturned tree right on top of these graves. Wow. Great big trees have grown on top of the graves and then toppled over. Look at that. The old wrought iron work. That looks like handmade. No, it's not. That's probably 50s. Something like that.
People often wonder why some cemeteries we highlight remain uncared for. It's a tough question. You really need to live here to grasp the depths of the issue. Today, we're going to dive into the history of one of the most forsaken yet infamous burial grounds in our area, Logan Memorial Park in McConnell, West Virginia. This place tells a sad tale of neglect and stories of those who rest within its overgrown boundaries. Eternity, constant, unending, forever. That's how my dictionary defines perpetual. It echoes the promises made to the residents of Logan County when they purchased graves at the now desolate 20-acre Logan Memorial Park in McConnell. This site was meant to be a serene resting place for many, including the infamous Mamie Thurman, whose tragic death left a haunting legacy. Meanwhile, many graves boast headstones and tombs that now stand empty. Once they housed the remains of loved ones. For those whose families could afford it, the bodies were moved when McConnell's grounds fell into disrepair. Some graves have weathered for years, while others have suffered significant damage. Two plots bought by the long-serving Logan Circuit Court Judge C.C. Chambers were sold when the future of the cemetery hung by a thread. The tale of this once sacred space is now painful. It's a reminder of broken promises and lost memories. On June 15, 1928, the Jones Land Company transformed into Logan McConnell Realty, seizing significant mineral rights across Logan County. That October, they acquired surface rights to 20 acres from Ella Aldridge, a widow of the former Logan resident. She now resided in Huntington. E.B. Dyer stepped up as president of both Logan McConnell Realty and Logan Memorial Park. Then came August 24th, 1928. A bold headline blared, 20-acre tract at McConnell to be beautiful perpetual care assured. The opening line was striking. A modern cemetery where perpetual care for the dead will be guaranteed is to be established at McConnell. The article revealed that the project was spearheaded by the president and vice president of Kanawha National Bank in Charleston, alongside another influential banker, the head of the Bank of Milton. These men had already made their mark by investing in Ridgelawn Cemetery in Huntington and Sunset Memorial Park in Charleston, West Virginia, both hailed as modern perpetual care burial parks. The Civil War brought with it a chilling discovery: chemicals that could preserve the dead. Suddenly, undertakers and funeral homes flourished across the nation thanks to embalming. Before this, bodies faced speedy burials. In Logan County, R.B. Harris made history on February 24th, 1899, becoming the first licensed embalmer, sanctioned by the State Board of Embalmers. He set up shop on the second floor of the Logan Mercantile on Main Street, now home of the Logan Family Court. Later, he acquired the residence of Judge J.B. Wilkinson and transformed it into a funeral parlor, which we know today as Honecker Funeral Home. We have showed that multiple times on this channel. Beautiful place. The rise of large public cemeteries also stemmed from a pressing need. In the rugged Appalachian Mountains, family burial sites, like those at Hatfield Cemetery in Sarah Ann, were confined to private property. Church graveyards imposed membership restrictions, leaving many without a place to rest. Consequently, the nation saw a surge in expansive cemeteries. On October 26, 1928, E.B. Dyer of Charleston received the Certificate of Incorporation for Logan Memorial Park. The business operated from 815 Courier Street, Charleston, with authorized stock of $75,000. 5 stockholders emerged, 4 from Charleston and 1 from Milton. In early 1928, work on the property began. Ironically, By November, the Logan Banner praised the transformation. A rough, unattractive site has been turned into a burial park so appealing it is now open for inspection. The article highlighted a white cypress fence, a concrete entrance, and a stunning flower bed where 2,000 perennial bulbs blossomed. It noted 7,000 hedges and countless rose bushes, with more to come in spring. Advertisements in the banner beckoned people of all backgrounds to buy grave plots. However, the harsh reality was clear: the cemetery was strictly for Caucasians only. Offices opened and a cemetery map was displayed in the O.J. Morrison Building, a former bank on Stratton Street. The site still holds tombstones of Hungarians, Czechs, Italians, and Greeks, many inscribed in their native tongues. Numerous influential figures from Logan found their final resting place there as well, or at least bought plots. The 20-acre cemetery was meticulously surveyed and mapped, every grave accounted for. But then came the Depression in 1932. By 1933, 88 burial lots had unpaid balances, and several contracts fell through as families struggled to keep up. Like many businesses, the burial park faced challenges, yet it endured. Death is inevitable, and the need for proper funerals always remains. In April 1945, as shadows of World War II receded, the cemetery changed hands. The Von Peaches, E. and Lucille, acquired the property and its plots. The deed? It bore no price. This marked the start of a grim fate for those interred, once assured of eternal care. Lucille, a teacher at Cherry Tree Grade School, was deemed fine people by the late Logan attorney, Eddie Eland. Few alive today can recount why the graveyard fell into neglect. Records show that in 1951, the American Legion of Logan bought several plots for families of indigent military veterans. The last sale by the Von Peachy was to Floyd Noe on May 11, 1956. The deed, recorded in 1958, included conditions but admitted the promise of perpetual care. It mandated a marble or suitable marker and stated the purchaser must oversee upkeep. The sellers, they fully absolved themselves of any maintenance for the future. This ended the perpetual care, even if you paid for it. From that point, the cemetery was set on a path to ruin. By 1948, Forest Lawn Cemetery emerged, run by Legina Aldridge, who is now deceased. She then recalled the McConnell site vividly. It was a beautiful place, she said. Families moved their loved ones there. Dr. N.E. Steele's remains were among them. He had erected a grand monument, still standing, but his wife removed him, leaving behind a costly concrete structure worth around $100,000 today. Back then, there were no laws governing cemeteries, Aldridge stated. The tale goes that a son vanished with all the money and records. He disappeared without a trace. That could never happen now. The cemetery, once a promise of eternal care, hides the remains of notable figures like J. Carey Alderson, founder of Logan County's first bank. Each summer, his grave gets swallowed by wild growth. No one takes responsibility for the cemetery's state today. Logan and its Appalachian neighbors struggle to maintain life for the living, no less the dead. These are just the facts. Accept them or not. It's still not going to change. Thank you for watching till the end, and we will see you next time on the Hillbilly Files.